I have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 13th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
And now we will move on to the always fun approval of the bills. Controller Edwards.
General fund, $1,758,577.82. Liquid fuels, $6.64. Hazmat, $130.69. 911, $555,809.88. Hotel tax, $212,572.02. Records improvements, $209.51. CDBG, $38,392.50. Domestic relations, $6,280.10. And CYS, $667,192.93. For a total of $3,239,172.09.
Do I have a motion to approve the bills as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Just a moment, we will sign here for our viewing audience. Thank you, Controller Edwards. On to personnel issues. We have a list of personnel changes for the Commissioner's approval. New hire, CYS caseworker, effective 5/19. New hire, CYS intern, effective 5/19. No transfers. Under separations and retirements, we have corrections officer at the jail, effective 5/16/2025. And FML leave of absence, we have one request for FML leave effective 7/17/2025 with 12 weeks ending 10/9/2025. A motion to approve personnel changes as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And public comment, seeing none. Do we have any old business to come before the board? Hearing none, we will move on to new business. Item 1, consider the intergovernmental agreement with the Court of Common Pleas Domestic Relations Section for Title 9-D Fund Support Enforcement Program Fund Administration. Counselor,
The title makes it seem a lot worse
there's a
than
lot
it
of
is.
words,
Yeah.
there's a lot of words there.
Yeah. This is an agreement with the Court of Common Pleas that essentially agrees that, in this case, it's Attorney Lamadou who serves as the support court for domestic relations, and then allows us to kind of have the proper documentation in place for the reimbursement from the state for those. We've had this for several years through the various attorneys that have been
It's
in that
just a matter
position.
of changing the name.
Yes, and we were
position.
due for our renewal, and then I mean, any changes in that position it does cover, but that's just who currently is in there, but it has to do with the enforcement through domestic relations and the support court having an attorney for representation.
Thank you for that explanation. Motion
So moved.
Second.
properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I didn't want to have to read that again. Consider child accounting and profile system CAPS upgrade.
This goes along with our prior agreement that I think we did 2 meetings ago through CYS with the Child Welfare Information System. This is, again, it's an upgrade that all counties share in their respective costs of. There is an annual update, no significant changes from prior years in the standard agreement that we do with them for those updates.
Okay, motion to consider the child accounting and profile system upgrade.
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to item 3. Consider agreement with WOKW 102.9 radio for advertising of the county foster care program.
And this is similar. We've done this every year, and I think we did one with one of the Du Bois stations recently as well. There's some funding available to do this to obviously help recruit foster parents, as all of you are aware of and is spoken about often, that there's a very big need in the community to recruit foster foster families for children. So this is something that I know, like I said, we do every year, standard agreement with WOKW.
Okay, a motion to approve item 3.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
And the final item under new business is consider lease agreement with WWA Holdings LLC for the Clearfield Magistrate Office. Once again, I believe Solicitor Bozovich has a little update on this.
I do. As you may recall, it was about fall of last year, there was a change in ownership of Magistrate Morris's office in Clearfield. We had had a lease that was assigned to the new purchaser, which is WWA Holdings. That lease did expire in April of this year. We've been going back and forth with negotiations on that space. I believe we do have a tentative arrangement, however, due to the timing of the weekend and some last minute changes, there is one outstanding item, and it just has to do with the effective date. As of right now, the tentative agreement calls for the rental payment to be the same, provides for 1 year, 1 year lease terms, renewable for 3 years to lock in that price, and then there is a 6-month termination for both WWA Holdings and the county as well. But it was just a question of the effective date since our prior lease did April, and then we're coming up on the new one. So what I would ask for, if you would consider approving that, if you would consider it pending solicitor approval, just so we can get that date in there correctly as we need it.
I'll motion to approve it, pending solicitor approval of the effective date.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Seeing no other items under new business, do we have anything additional from our solicitor today?
I think just an update that the election was very smooth overall. So credit to the Board of Elections, but also the election office did a wonderful job in there. So as of right now, I don't want to say everything looks good, but everything is how it should have been and done, fairly quickly. No major anticipated problems. We had some new polling locations, and that setup has gone well. So just kind of, again, wanted to commend the Board of Elections and the election office.
And also, not only the elections office, but also a mention to Mr. Brian Norwood, our new election director. Little trial by fire for him, working his way through a lot of write-ins, but overall,
we're getting there.
very smooth.
Yeah, you kind of stole my thunder. I really, this is 6 years being here. This was the smoothest election we had, I think. And no major problems, only a couple of minor problems. Had results out in a timely fashion. Had one precinct we had to rescan their ballots, but
They what?
we had to rescan those Oklahoma
Oh, yes,
ballots.
yes,
But
yeah.
you know what? We jumped right in and got that done in like 15 minutes, so it was fine.
Anything from either of you gentlemen?
Nope, just wish the turnout had been a little bit better, but not to be
Yeah.
unexpected.
That's pretty typical for a
Off year.
odd year election.
What we consider the off year with no state, federal, or...
Yeah.
So, how about a motion to adjourn at 10:39?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There you go.